Yeah, man, Scotland Yard. Yeah, don't play no game.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this channel once again. Kindly for watching me for the first time. Remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. To my returning viewers, thank you so much for love. Thank you so much for support, for always coming back and watching my video. And greetings to my brothers and sisters all the way from the Caribbean country. So guys, in today's video is a very strong video. Is a strong connection between Jamaica and Scotland. It's really unexpected because we have seen a strong culture connection between Africa, Europe, Asia, and also UK. But Scotland, so kindly guys, let's watch these videos and in the end, then I'll come back with more comment. I'm your host Team Tasty Discover. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and all full credit goes to original creators of these videos.
Yes, let's talk about the connection between Jamaica and Scotland. So when Jamaica gained independence in 1962, they were faced with the big question of how were they going to represent their flag? So this was the first design that Jamaica was considering making their flag, which I'm honestly glad they didn't. They had the meanings down, which was black representing the strength and creativity of the Jamaicans, which helped them overcome difficulties, the gold representing the wealth of the country and also the sunshine, and the green representing the vegetation and also the hope. Eventually, this man, Reverend William McGee, was on a missionary trip to Jamaica when he met up with the Prime Minister and he said, "Hey lad, you should design your flag based off Scotland's." So that's why, because of inspiration from Scotland, Jamaica became the second nation to feature the St. Andrew's Cross on their flag. Thank you.
I know this will come as a shock to you, but the reason why one of the main streets of this city is called Jamaica Street is not to pay homage to reggae music and beautiful Caribbean beaches. Despite the common narrative of Scotland being the underdog minding its own business while England does its thing, every single monument and historical building in this city was built with its slavery money. Historically, Scotland, and more specifically Glasgow, are neck deep into what the wealthy families of this area still politely refer to as cargo shipping. What kind of cargo, you may ask? Guess. Unlike in the US or in Brazil, the UK never had a slave labor industry on its mainland, so it's easy for Britain to pretend like we don't see it. But in Glasgow, there are some hints. Yeah, the colonial past is everywhere, and walking in Glasgow constantly reminds you that money been here. Yet today, Glasgow might have a very working class reputation, but historically, it's got money. And in Scotland, like in the rest of the imperial core, money meant power, meant white supremacy. To every colonial empire, education is an organ of propaganda and subjugation. And yet, if you would ask the University of Glasgow about slavery, up until 2018, all they will tell you is boast about the university's involvement in the emancipation and abolition movement. And that's it. It took a student's research in 2018 for the University of Glasgow to grapple with its involvement and the many ways in which it benefited from slavery. As Severin Carroll wrote in The Guardian, one of the former rectors of the University of Glasgow was Robert Cunningham Graham, who spent 2 decades making his fortune as a plantation owner and slaver. Yeah, it turns out all that money didn't come from whiskey and haggis. Who would have thunk? Private, with my ancestors' money? I don't think so. I'm getting what's mine. To their credit, though, the University of Glasgow was the first in the UK to officially acknowledge its involvement and to publish a report estimating that they benefited financially from the profits of slavery to the sum of £200 million. And their first step is to pay £20 million in reparations towards the Joint Centre for Development and Research with the University of the West Indies. Now, is it enough? No, but it's better than nothing, I guess. The university research estimates that the total reparation owed to black people is $12 trillion US. That's a lot of money. Now, I don't know if that also covers the debt to Haiti and Congo, but if you add to that the hundreds of billions that the same colonial powers will have to pay to
watermelon people,
that's a lot of Mini Coopers.
the Scottish identity is often romanticized as fierce opposition to England. But when it comes to the spoils of empire, Glasgow was the richest city of the empire after London. And yet,
Glasgow somehow managed to dilapidate all that wealth in the 20th century. And we'll see how in the next video.
So recently, thanks to 23andMe, I found out that I have relatives in Jamaica. And I'm like the least Jamaican looking person in the world, so I decided to look into the links between Scotland and Jamaica. So the first dates from 1656, when Oliver Cromwell banished 1,200 Scots to Jamaica. The English had a colony there. And the Scottish immigrants generally took up posts as servants to the English. And criminals were also exiled there. And later on in the 17th century, some people who had gone to colonise the Darien jungle, which I've done a video on, also arrived in Jamaica. The first wave of Scots to the island were sold as servants to the English. And interestingly, Campbell is the most common surname on Jamaica. And it's thought the first Campbell on the island was Colonel John Campbell. He had also been on the failed Darien Jungle mission, and he decided to settle in Jamaica and set up a sugar plantation. During the 18th and 19th centuries, a lot of sugar plantation owners and overseers were Scottish. Not quite so good a link. And Glasgow was a large importer of slave-produced sugar. And by the early 19th century, over half of Scotland's linen was sent to the Caribbean to clothe the slaves and the owners. So my relatives might have been servants or criminals or people who were involved in slavery. But it's important to remember these things did happen. Ooh, I also went to Jamaica on my honeymoon. It was lovely.
Have you ever realised that the Jamaican flag, yeah? Imagine you eliminate the green, the black, the yellow, just the shape, yeah? And that's blue. It's the Scottish flag. Jamaica? Scotland. What? Imagine if people in Jamaica talk with a Scottish accent but spoke with Jamaican lingo. Wagwan, me brethren. You little bumper clat. Yeah, man, let's have a little bit of rum.
Have you ever wondered why the flag of Jamaica and the flag of Scotland both have a saltire layout? And of course, there is a connection. Coming to its planned independence in 1962, coming up to their independence, they were designing a new flag, but there was a problem. The proposed flag that they had was too similar to the newly independent Tanzania. It was said at the time there was someone very high up in the committee that was dealing with the new flag design. He was writing to one of his friends, and his friend was a priest that lived in Scotland, and they were talking about this challenge they were having in Jamaica about the new flag. And the Scottish priest wrote him a letter and he sketched out the design of the Scottish saltire flag that's above me here. And it was said that this apparently inspired the design and the layout of Jamaica's flag today.
My name is Brian Anthony Chisholm, Scottish last name, Chisholm. The name Chisholm came over to Jamaica in the colonial days in Jamaica. I lived in Scotland years gone by, in an area of Scotland where the Chisholm clan settled in the Highlands. I was the only black Chisholm in a 500-mile radius. Every night I go to the pubs there, I basically drink for free because the lads get the crack out of it. Every Chisholm that walked in the door, they point out the black Chisholm. It's brilliant.
What's going on, people? This video is going to explore the colonial impact of Scotland on Jamaica. Here's that story. Outside of Scotland, Jamaica has the highest percentage of Scottish surnames. It's estimated that 60% of surnames in the Jamaica telephone directory are of Scottish origin. So pick up my Andersons, Campbells, Millers, Malcolms, Grants, Gordons and many more. It's even believed that there are more Campbells per square acre in Jamaica than Scotland. Have a look at their national flags. Notice anything? They're the only two national flags to include the saltire, i.e. the St Andrew's Cross. Here's that story. Historically, the J flag looked like this. In 1962, as the time of independence approached, an initial design for the flag with 3 vertical stripes was deemed unsatisfactory. One oral story goes that Scottish Minister Reverend William Magee, who had become a friend of the then Prime Minister, suggested that the national flag should reflect Jamaica's status as a Christian country and have a cross on it. Legend has it he drew out the Scottish flag substituting the blue and white of Scotland with the green, black and gold of the initial design.
This is why Scottish people sound like Jamaicans. The Scottish and Irish were enslaved. They actually helped to build New York City and a lot of America. Those Scottish slaves traveled to America as well as the Caribbean. And this is why today in Jamaica, the Jamaicans be sounding like this. And before, Jamaicans were actually speaking Spanish. But in the 1700s, these Irish, Scottish, indentured servants or slaves were sent either to America or to the Caribbean, also as well, that includes Jamaica. This is why you have the white Jamaicans. If you go to Jamaica, you'll be thinking that the man is from Scotland. They'll tell you, me just a white Jamaican, me not lame man. But when you start to go to Jamaica and you see there's black and white Jamaicans, even though black and white equals a social construct, because the term race did not exist until after the 1500s, they used this term to split and divide us from each other. Instead of looking at the love that we're supposed to have for each other, we are too busy looking at the skin color. One of the largest lies ever told to mankind. Black and white is not a race. Because Israel is represented by Joseph's coat of many colors. That's right, the rainbow. They stole that one too, and they gave it to the LGBTQZ community. And really, it goes back to the rainbow, the Noahide covenant. But we have to learn the story of Joseph and why Joseph's brothers, even though they were Hebrews, did not want Joseph to succeed. This is a parable for us today. Even though other people are our family members, they don't always want us to succeed or to excel in the truth. And this is what the powers to be, that's what they want for you. They don't want you to know that you as a Jamaican be related to the Scottish and the Irishman. Because then that would actually create, oh, Lord forbid, community or community. Because when we start to unite, we start to unite. And unity, community, is the last thing that they want. It's also why we ended up making y'all the Health Bible. Everything that you need to know just about is going to be available at jacobslink.com. Also, go ahead and get you some handcrafted honey, the world's best, straight from the island, jacobslink.com. Guys, welcome back. I hope you have really shocked and enjoyed how really Jamaica and Scotland are in good, strong connection. It's really unexpected because people that we have seen the culture between Jamaica and Africa, Europe, UK, but Scotland, it has been becoming unexpected. But really, we have the strong connection between Jamaica and Scotland, which is never knew existed. And during the colonization, some of the Scottish people moved to Jamaica through going to owner of the plantation, some of them going through soldiers, some of them going through for colonization, and that is how the Scottish people dominated the Jamaica, because during the colonization it's just a movement. Because some of the plantations that were in Jamaica were in Scottish people, and some went through the soldiers, because the soldiers, they are the one who are manning that plantation, because the Jamaicans and Africans were the one who were working with that plantation. And you can remember that the Jamaicans were just taken here in Africa, and so that they were taken by the West people. So those people, they were just a Scottish people. So when they went to that farms, some of the owner of that farms were Scottish, some of the soldiers were Scottish, and that's why we came up with some of the Jamaicans' name are the Scottish name, because we have the Campbell name, we have the Price Campbell, that is the Scottish name, we have the Mackenzie, that is the Scottish name, we have the Sinclair, that is the Scottish name. And this Scottish name is normally used in Jamaica, because in Jamaica we have those surnames that are used in Jamaica. We have the Sinclair, we have the Mackenzie, we have also the Campbell. So when you find the Jamaican being called a Campbell, that name is the really origin from Scottish. And this is just as show that really Jamaica and Scotland has the very good relationship. And another thing, some of the Scottish names, some of the Scottish language and vibes and energy is really resembles the Jamaicans. We know that Jamaica has the energy, it has the vibes. That vibes also, as it's also in Jamaica. When you hear a Scottish sounds, that names, it sounds like the accents of the Patos language. This shows this is the really connection between Jamaica and Scotland. We have seen that guy is trying to show us how even in Scotland we have the Jamaican street. Jamaica has been named a street in Scotland. So this shows that Scotland really value the Jamaica so high, and being in Jamaica, being in Scotland, this is show that the culture of Jamaica is moving strong. And another thing that is making Jamaica and Scotland to resemble, if you can, Jamaica got independence in 1962, and that year Scotland were there, and even you can compare the flag of Jamaica and Scotland. It really sounds the same. It really looks the same. You have seen that two crosses. Jamaica has the same crosses. Also, the Scotland has the same crosses. And this shows us that it's really the strong connection between Jamaica and Scotland. And we have this doctor who are in Scotland called Hodgson. This doctor was from Scotland and he was in Jamaica some around 1655 years ago, 1655. He was in Jamaica, doctor in Jamaica. This shows that really Jamaica and Scotland are in the same. And the energy, the vibes of Jamaica are in the same. You have also seen that guys trying to differentiate those flags of Jamaica and those flags of Scotland. It really looks the same. No comparison. You cannot compare. And Jamaica, being the most also country left across all the world, some of the Scotland countries also is learning from the Jamaica. Because for those who was asking, where is Scotland? Scotland is located in UK, yeah? It's in UK. So, but it has the strong connection with Jamaica. And that strong connection, you have watched how that guy is very really highlighting that connection between Jamaica and Scotland. It's really the same. He's speaking the really things, and that is how it went up. So from today, hope you have liked this video. Hope you have now know that rather than having the connection between Africa and Jamaica, Africa and Europe, Africa and other countries, we also have Scotland and Jamaica. And if you have a lot of also history, let's interact in comment section. Let's just comment in the comment section how you really view the difference between Jamaica and Scotland. See you later. Bye for now. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, like and comment, because we have come far from this channel. I'll be giving all the vibes. If you really like this vibe, make sure you subscribe, like and also comment.